It's a reminder to let the Holy Spirit veer you off course if needed. And I'm very unflexible, and so that's a good reminder for me. It's been my favorite verse for a very long time.
Some guy was not pleased with what I would or wouldn't do for him in regards to his money or his accounts, and was accusing me of something. I don't even remember what, but he's like, that Mennonite girl, blah, blah, blah. And it was very, clear that he did not like the fact that I was a Mennonite.
Don't parent through the eyes of the people watching you.
Yeah.
Parent consistently how you would at home, or, obviously it's not the same as when you're at home because you gotta really de-escalate it quickly, but I would say go to your vehicle if you can and solve the problem in there.
Huge big deal, because if it's that hard to leave your church, then maybe you are in a cult. I've done hot dogs because of course I have.
Hot dogs, oh wow.
Yeah, barbecued hot dogs in a crock pot.
I don't know if I've ever stooped that low. No, I'm kidding, I have.
My husband would agree with that. He's not on board with it either. So if he was on board...
Sponsor of today's episode, which is Voetberg Music Academy.
Voetberg Music Academy wants to reward your children with cash and badges for practicing their instrument during the summer months.
Join Voetberg Music Academy in the month of May, and in addition to their weekly lessons, monthly live workshops, and showcases, your children can participate in the 6 Songs of Summer Challenge.
The Voetberg method approaches music differently. With by-ear training and song-based learning, students see immediate results and learn technique, note reading, and theory in a context that will stick with them forever.
And what makes it even better, they can earn visual reminders of their hard work with the Voetberg Method's rank system that mails badges and rank pins right to your doorstep.
Sign up for one of our signature piano, guitar, or fiddle courses and learn as a family. That's right, one membership for the whole family.
And with our code, Homemaker20, you'll get 20% off each month you are enrolled.
Join thousands of Christian families that are cheering each other on in the VMA community as we progress on the student success path.
Join now with our code, Homemaker20, to get 20% off each month you're enrolled and join this 2025 6 Songs of Summer Challenge. Don't these flowers look like they're watercolored, kind of?
They're real, right?
Yeah.
They're really
I need to put them out in my actual planter, but I needed some flowers here, and I don't want to break my flower budget. I'm letting myself buy enough flowers for one bouquet a month. We'll see how long that lasts, but I didn't want to break the tradition in May already.
Yeah, they're really pretty.
So I'll probably add them to a pot somewhere or something. Ivani loved them, so yeah. They even have a purple center and then the pink and orange. But anyway, I don't know, some kind of osteoporosis. Yeah, it was osteo something mum.
Interesting.
At the end, so it does kind of look like a mum, I guess, with the flowers. But we are very flowery today.
Yep.
Where's that from? Amazon? Can we link
it?
This
is an Amazon dress that was one of those Amazon dresses. This isn't straight junk.
It isn't.
It's
nice.
lined. The sleeves are fluffy. The neckline is decent. So I was very tickled with it.
Yeah, this skirt has pockets, also from Amazon, and it's lined the whole way down to...
below your knee, I see it.
Yeah, it's below my knee somewhere. Anyway, so... Well, I don't think we need to do too many, life updates and stuff. We can just get right into these Q&As can get so long if we're not careful.
Yes.
You guys have some really good questions. But yeah, let's do our little cheer bringer dopamine thing for this episode.
I'll tell you what, I'm really running out of ideas. I had to really search my brain. But one thing that I've done twice recently was... go to a different grocery store than what I usually go to. I've gotten quite the habit lately
she's got time.
Of going to Weaver Markets on my way home from school and then not going anywhere else ever. But in Florida, we went to Detweiler's, which was quite the experience. Now, that was a dopamine rush. Especially the acai bowls.
Yes, they were $7 for an acai bowl.
Ridiculous. And they were good. I mean, ridiculously cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. So that was quite fun. And then Saturday, I went to Lidl, which I had not been to Lidl in a very long time.
That's Aldi's cousin or something? Yeah,
it's very similar to Aldi. And I was like, oh, this is fun. Different things.
2-syllable fun.
Yeah. Anyway, so maybe you're not like me. I used to go all over the place, but recently I've been in such a rut of only going to the same boring grocery store, which, shout out to Weaver Markets. I have frequented that store multiple times a week in the past 9 months or whatever it's been. And they're great, but it is fun to just go somewhere different. And I really enjoyed myself.
I think you're coming to my side. I remember when you and Joelle would not leave the house for groceries if you could help it. They were delivered to your door via Instacart.
I have I did renew my Instacart subscription because they gave me a coupon for $20 a year. So I can't really not do that. But I've been using it almost more for the Uber Eats side of it. I've been doing that occasionally.
Uber Eats, huh?
And then I used Instacart in Florida, but it's kind of nice just to have it if I need it. But I don't use it very often anymore.
Yeah, I love a good grocery shop, especially if it's like a Trader Joe's in Florida. You didn't even do it. Oh,
I'm just not a fan of Trader Joe's. I don't know. Someone told me that it was so awesome, and then I went and I'm
probably
like,
me.
It was you. And then I'm just like, there's like 5 things in this store. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's true. It's not near as many things.
Yeah, it was just not what I was expecting.
Everything is good. It's like like they don't allow certain food diet. Well, that's like Aldi too. Though, I guess certain food diets.
I think I was expecting more like a Whole Foods or something.
Yeah, it's small.
Yeah,
it's a market.
But I should have went.
It's underwhelming.
I couldn't go to all the places in Florida because we flew.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Grocery shop your way through Florida?
I mean, Detweiler's was an experience. It
was awesome. Yeah, it's like Mennonite run. I guess Detweiler is the last name of.
Yeah, you know that Instagram account where I got my Caesar dressing, homemade for hosting?
Yes, I love that.
I think it's her family.
We should link her down below. Homemade for hosting on Instagram.
I don't even know if she's active anymore.
I don't know, but she probably posted all her good recipes and stopped.
Yeah, I mean,
like she should take them all down and do a cookbook and make money off of it.
She
but
should.
Right now they're all up for free, so go check them out.
Yeah,
so good. I just made a bread
that...
recipe from her. Yeah, that's like the Mennonite style cooking. Most of those things.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, so some housekeeping before we get into our homemaking Q&A. So this is the end of season 7. If that sounds like a crazy high number to you, we've only been doing this for 3 years, but we do 8 episodes, 2 a month, so for 4 months, and then we take a month off. So it just helps us to stay creative. It gives our editing, me and Josh's editing, a little break, and I feel like we always have things to say. It just gives us a nice little refresh. We're moms. We have other gigs too.
It gives us a chance to is this something we want to keep doing? Just reevaluate everything.
Exactly. So I guess, are we committing to coming back for season 8?
I don't know.
I guess we are with what I'm about to say.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess we're committing.
I guess we're coming back. No, I didn't have any plans to say I wasn't. So
yeah. So we will be taking off the month of June, and we'll be filming at the end of June, and episodes will be going up again in July. Lord willing, of course, as we say.
Like Whitney says, Lord willing and the creek don't rise.
Oh, I've never heard that. Jayna, I think this was Jayna's idea, and I just stole it 2 years later. I don't know, because you claim you brought this up.
Well, we talked about it when we did the Annie's Day of Light, which was my idea. And then I was like, we should do more of this because I really enjoyed it. And then
this, as in being a book club.
Book club, yeah.
So we're not starting a book club.
No.
We're not starting a new Instagram page. There's nothing new for you to follow or do or anything. There is something for you to buy if you want to be a part of it, which is the book. But we've had a link down below all of our episodes, I think, to download Scribd. You get a couple.
It's Everand now.
It's called Everand, and do you get some free time? I think
you get free 3 months or a month. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's not cheap if you're not going to use it. You have to use it if you're going to be paying for it by the month. But I think you can. I love audiobooks, but I did get. We decided we would like to, over the break, we have a month here off in June, we would like to read a book together / listen to an audiobook together and then come back and discuss it the first episode back of season 8. And so I asked on Instagram for suggestions. We got so many suggestions, a lot of ones that we've seen before that have been published a long time ago.
Everyone's already talked about.
Yeah, and we're like, okay, we need something that we know before, because we're not reading this ahead of time. We haven't started yet. But we need to know that it's going to be
sound.
That's exactly the word I was going to say.
Because I don't want to come on here and tear apart a book or bash a book.
We tried that already and it didn't go over well.
Yeah, it did not. You did not like it.
Well, you don't know before you read a book if you're going to like it or not.
Yeah.
And so we want to be honest. So we think we're like this book. We think it's worth all of our time to read. So if you want to join in, pick up the book. We decided, this was Jayna's suggestion.
Yeah, because I wanted to read it, but I need the motivation to read it.
Yes, we want some accountability here. Felicia Masonheimer, I love her because I know she doesn't do drivel. She doesn't do just her opinions. She doesn't say, I want to make some money. I'll sit down and write a book. She's a theologian, an apologist. Her tagline is every woman a theologian. Mm-hmm. And you know that she put work into anything that she writes.
Yes, it's very well researched, well thought out.
The reason I got on board actually was from the table of contents. I thought I would just read the table of contents quickly. The whole back is, do you guys know Every Moment Holy, that book? It's full of liturgies, prayers you can pray over whatever's happening in your life, at a baseball game or before grocery shopping or at the death of a loved one, or, and they're prayers when you don't know what to say, you can read the prayer. And so she actually, the whole last section of the book says liturgy, which sounds scary, but it's not. Liturgy for laundry, liturgy for tending and mending, liturgy for hospitality. And then the first part, The first chapters are titled Loving the Home You Have, A Peaceful Habitation, Creating a Culture of Faith, Restoring the Foundations, The Spiritual Rhythm of Your Home, and All to the Glory of God. And so I think it has promise. I'm excited. It's not crazy long, which is good, but I think it'll take me a month to get through it. Yeah. Unless I just listen to the whole thing. We'll see.
I did buy the book too because I thought it might be nice to have a physical copy to make notes.
I agree. And especially if we're accountable to them to talk about it later. Yeah. But I thought just to whet your appetite, I thought I would read the Liturgy of Homemaking. So whether you decide to join or not, I think we can all benefit
Sounds appropriate.
Yes, exactly. Honey, I'm Homemaker. Liturgy of Homemaking. Emmanuel, you who made a home with us, so imperfect and undeserving, help us to make a home for others, a home built on you. You are the cornerstone of our foundation, the rock immovable. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. You dwell among us still by your Spirit. May your goodness permeate our homes. May we discipline ourselves to seek you. And as we scrub, wash, tend, mend, and create beauty here, may it be an echo of your Creator heart, an invitation, a garden glimpse of eternity on earth. Amen.
Amen.
There you go. So I will put Jayna's link down below if you guys want to buy it through Amazon. And yeah, get your hands on it, whether it's through Everand audio version or the hard copy. It's just came out a little bit ago. Yeah. That's why it's hard copy. I learned that recently. The first generation, the first printing of the book is always in hardcover.
Really?
And then after that, it's in softcover.
Did not know that.
I know. I guess that's true. I mean, read it somewhere, so it must be.
Must be.
Oh, man. So I'm excited. So, yeah. Jayna, great idea.
Thanks. Hopefully I don't let you down.
Yeah, I WhatsApped her. Hey, what do you think about the gap between, the 2 seasons? We, read a book together and then discuss it in the next episode. She's like, I suggested that a couple years ago.
No, I remember telling you something about book club, but it was probably a bad idea at the time.
Well, I was thinking a whole separate other thing on our plates.
Right. No.
So this is very integrated. So,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I never did my dopamine hit. I was just going to say stripes. Stripes just make everything better. If you have a choice between the solid and the stripe,
I like stripes.
Pick the stripe. I've been looking for napkins, cloth napkins. And it's stripes are almost like a neutral. They look like solids from a distance, but they cover up stains and they have a little funky personality to them. Mm-hmm. You could do polka dots, but polka dots are a little polka dotty. You know what I mean? Stripes are just still really classic at all times. So anyway, that was my dopamine hit.
Like it.
Okay. So questions. Should we just spitball back and forth questions and we'll give it our best shot. Some of these we've looked over before. Some of them are just going to be our first reactions. So here we go. We're so happy to be partnering with Wild again for today's episode.
Wild deodorant keeps you smelling fresh for 24 hours, and it's packed with natural nourishment, and it's Leaping Bunny cruelty-free and vegan certified.
Wild contains no aluminum salts, no parabens, and it won't block your pores.
And they just came out with this really fun case. It's polka dots of lots of different colors, so you know that is appealing to me. And a new fresh scent called Summer Breeze. I smell freesia, water lily, and deep ocean musk. It's the lightest, freshest scent, like clean sheets drying in the sun, a breeze through open windows, and skin fresh from the shower. It smells amazing.
It smells awesome, honestly.
I love how it's it's subtle and soft. It smells amazing, but it doesn't hit you over the head like old lady perfume.
Yeah, I was laughing at your enthusiasm, but it's warranted. It's so good.
It is.
I always like how the scents are kind of sophisticated too, but they always smell clean. When you buy Wild, you're going to get an aluminum case that's going to last you technically forever, and then you just change out your scents as they get used up.
So it's less waste in the landfills.
You can choose from over 14 different refill scents, and many of them come in sensitive. You just have to load your refill back into your case, and you can get to swiping. They also have over 8 case options as well, so you can kind of pick to match your personality. I've gotten their body washes and their lip balms as well, and I just love all of their scents. We have an offer that's not going to last long. You can get 20% off if you use our code HoneyI'mHomemaker20, and I'll put the QR code on the screen as well if that's easier for you to shop, but the link will be down below. Again,
you can get 20% off using our code HoneyI'mHomemaker20. But hurry, because it doesn't last long.
It's cute. It smells amazing. It's affordable. There's a discount. It comes right to your door. I'm not really sure what else to say. It's amazing all around.
Okay, so this one I thought was interesting. It's kind of a long one, though. My daughter and I love listening to your podcast, but she is a special situation. She had uterine cancer and a hysterectomy at 18. Wow. She is 23 now and cancer-free, praise God. She is married. So what would you recommend for the homemakers who do not see children in their future due to circumstances out of their control? First of all, what a terrible thing to go through. I mean, that sounds like that's life-changing.
At 18 too, where it probably didn't even hit you. Because at 18, who really wants to have children at 18? Like, you might in the back of your head think, someday I want to be a mom. I bet it totally hit her again later.
Yeah. It's really hard when those choices are taken away from you.
Yeah.
Like, I have a cousin who had breast cancer and had to have surgeries that she can't have any more children. Now she has 3, which she's very grateful for that. But it's like she would have maybe chosen to have more, and now that decision is taken away from her. So I sympathize with this girl. That's not an easy situation. But there are other ways. If you do desire to build a family, you can foster, you can adopt, you can be a teacher if you just want to have children in your life but go home to a quiet house. But I do think in some way you'll probably find yourself involved with children, because I think a woman has an instinct to nurture. And so I think if at all possible, and I think it will probably just happen naturally, but you'll find yourself drawn to children, drawn to that nurturing part of who you are, because whether you like it or not, that is who you are. You're a nurturer if you are a woman. But also the possibilities are wide open for you. You could go into the medical field and start a career there and make lots of money so you can donate to orphanages. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to be involved in children's lives. And
yeah, you could start a children's home. You could go to an orphanage and rescue some kids. I don't know. I mean, that's a little hard. Tough.
You could do anything. Like, literally, what do you want to do?
That one choice was definitely taken away from her, which is sad.
Which is very sad.
Another thing to consider is old folks. I know that's not the same as cute little babies, but it's so you can use your nurturing side so much in an old folks home. I worked in a kitchen and I really loved it. Old people are just so funny and they're full of wisdom. But then you have the other side where they really need a lot of care, some of them, and sometimes it can be they need love too. So maybe I would definitely consider like what age speaks to you, because maybe you want to do daycare work, maybe you want to do elderly care. But yeah, that is tough. And I know whatever God knew this was going to happen, it was not a shock and to him. So I know he has a plan for your life. And as far as homemaking, everybody has a home, whether you have children or not. So lean into the parts that you love and come up with systems to get done all the parts that you hate, as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite scripture verses and why?
I really love the book of Ecclesiastes, partly because it's just kind of depressing, and I kind of like to lean into that sometimes. But I just think it's beautiful how it just so clearly says that there is a time and a season for everything. I think that's full of hope. And joy and sorrow has really become a theme of my life. Not that I would have chosen it that way, but it is comforting to know that that is natural and God ordained, that we have joy and sorrow sometimes simultaneously in our life. And I don't know, I like the book. And it also talks about how everything is foolish, like everything is in vain. Like, it doesn't matter what you do, whether you're rich or poor, it's all vanity. Vanity, vanity, it's all vanity. And I don't know, I just think it's kind of funny almost, but when you really look at what it's saying, it's so much wisdom there.
My favorite verse, I can't even find, you'd think I have the Psalm something, but I can't remember the exact verse. It says, "And let the beauty of the Lord our God be upon us, and establish the work of our hands upon us." And then it repeats it, "Yea, the work of our hands, establish thou it." I just love that prayer in the morning because it's just a pretty verse. Like, let your beauty rest upon us and tell me what to do for the day. It's a reminder to let the Holy Spirit veer you off course if needed. And I'm very unflexible, and so that's a good reminder for me. It's been my favorite verse for a very long time. And I've done different studies on it. There's different ways you can look at the verse, but that's what it means to me. Well, no, that's what it means. Not just to me, but it's special to me. This question, I thought, is it worth our time? This is not something that comes up among my friends. What kind of things would cause you to leave your current church and find a new one? What might cause you to leave your faith altogether? I think the first question is kind of fun to think, not fun, but good to think about. You should not be married to your church. If your church goes astray or your leadership, I think that's something that I would want to leave my church. If the truth was not preached over the pulpit, that would be the most glaringly obvious reason. If the church lost the point, there's that Instagram trend going around, this is I almost forgot, this is the point. I think sometimes churches are so quick to forget what the point is. And I think that's really important. Sometimes it's good to stay at a church and help get it in the right direction. And sometimes you need to leave because at the end of the day, you can't be a body if you're not one in some way or another. So I do like that. That's a good question to consider. Anything with that part? Do you have anything?
Well, I think for my particular church, like, obviously, like, if my church rejected core doctrinal values that I think are the point, or, like, the what's really important, but I can't see my church ever doing that. But I would say, like, if my church would start putting even more of an emphasis on, like, outward things, or, like, rules, and trended in a direction where, like, saying that the rules that we live by will save you, or, like, do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Like cultish practices.
Yeah, like, we do get accused of being legalistic, and I don't think we are, because we can get in, that's the whole thing. But if my church would lean into that even more, and just, like, I really saw, like, this legalistic spirit, I think that would be something that I would not want to be a part of. Because I don't feel like my church is that way, but I do think that is one thing that Mennonite churches in particular can fall into, and I don't want to do that.
Okay, so basically moving in either direction at all. If they're making too much emphasis on outward things, or if they're losing things that are important to you. Well, the other thing is, too, like, your church is not the only right church. You could go to another church. It would be perfectly fine.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think it's, like, it needs to be, like, this huge, big deal, because if it's that hard to leave your church, then maybe you are in a cult.
Yeah, that's true. I think another reason to leave a church would be if there's no, like, youth group for your kids' ages. Like, you want to have
and that's not a biblical reason. It's more practical.
If you moved further away and there was another church that was closer. There's so many different reasons. I think that there's a little too much emphasis put in some cultures. I feel like not in mine, but in some cultures, of, like, leaving the church that your parents went to or whatever, which we've both done. I mean, I've done that and Josh has done that. And so it wasn't even that big of a deal. Like, but Josh's dad actually encouraged us, find a church that you want to be an ambassador of and plug into and be proud of.
Most of my family does go to my church, so it would be hard to leave for that reason, because it is nice to go to church with your family. But, I mean, if it came to it, they're not going to, like, hold anything over my head and be like, you won't be in the will if you don't go to our church.
But the second part, she says, what might cause you to leave your faith altogether? I don't even want to think about that. Like, hopefully nothing.
If you're going to be listing things that would cause you to lose your faith, is it really faith?
I mean, there should be no answer to that, right?
No, I don't have, I mean, nothing can.
If I lose my mind, I guess.
Nothing can
but then God will, His grace will cover me.
Nothing can take you out of the hand of God. I mean, the Bible literally says that. So I'm not quite sure.
I'm not sure, like, what church denomination they're coming from.
You can choose to walk away, but why would I choose that? If you really do have a faith, I don't think that's a question you can answer.
What's enticing enough to have you walk away? Yeah.
If I found out that heaven wasn't real, but I have faith that it is, so if your faith is real, then you won't.
Have you guys ever felt judged or treated poorly for being Mennonite?
Not very often. I was going to say it's the only time, but I'm probably maybe just forgetting something. But I do remember one time that may be the only time is when I was working at a bank. And I don't even remember the circumstances. Some guy was not pleased with what I would or wouldn't do for him in regards to his money or his accounts, and was accusing me of something. I don't even remember what, but he's like, that Mennonite girl, blah, blah, blah. And it was very, like, clear that he did not like the fact that I was a Mennonite. I don't know.
Yeah, I think for me...
It did hurt. I'm like, really? Okay. I don't know. Yeah, it was...
It definitely, he was playing that into his opinion, obviously.
Yeah, it was definitely, like, he did not think that I was a good... I don't know what his deal was, but he did not... He used Mennonite as derogatory, and that doesn't happen to me very often.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to think. I think for me, I sometimes struggle with, okay, like the stereotypes of some Mennonites of being like poor tippers or like things like that. And then I'm like, I don't want them to think poorly of me. And so, you know, you overcompensate or whatever. Or like even if you have bad service, you tip anyway, like tip really well anyway, just because you're a Mennonite and you don't want them to think you're stingy and that's why you didn't tip. But anyway, that's a whole nother level. But I think too is I sometimes feel sheepish for being a Mennonite in certain areas and doing certain things because it's just like such a Mennonite thing to do.
Like going to Pinecraft?
Yeah, yes, going to Pinecraft in Florida. It's like, oh my goodness, you're supposed to be too good for that, basically. Like, oh my word, it's such a cliche. Or like even, there's certain events and things that's like, oh, there'll be lots of Mennonites there and like, but like, what am I? Am I better than all these Mennonites?
Right,
am I too good for that? Like the reason we're there is because it's good, cheap, fun, usually.
Good, clean, cheap fun.
Yes, exactly. So. Yeah. Oh, man.
But I guess, like, being stereotyped or saying, oh, all these Mennonites are this or that, that doesn't really bother me as much as what that guy at the bank was doing.
Yeah,
because he
for
was
sure. Discriminating.
Yeah.
But now you know what that's like.
Yeah, and I don't usually experience that. So I think that was probably good for me, but it definitely did sting a little bit. Oh, go-to meals when you don't have time. Something that I've made a few times recently that Finley has decided is his favorite food. So, of course, I'm all about it. And it's so easy. Throw some chunked up potatoes in the oven. Season them a little bit if you feel like it. Fry up some ground beef. Make a simple barbecue sauce. Pour the barbecue sauce over the potatoes. Top with cheese. End of story. Serve it with broccoli if you feel like it. It's so good. It's so easy. It's quick. It's simple. And we love it.
Barbecue sauce. That's not where I thought you were going.
Like beef barbecue over baked potatoes. Yeah. It's like easier than chili.
Yeah. I just, for some reason, in my head, I was going like, I don't know, Alfredo. So I wasn't sure where you were going. That sounds actually pretty good.
It is very good. And it's simple and quick. Perfect for those like ball game nights when we got to get out the door.
For me, I'm even like lazier. I would say like chicken parmesan with the breaded chicken patties, sauce on top, put them in the air fryer, and then put a piece of cheese on top and that melts on.
I also have hot dogs on my list.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I just thought this was something that's actually like Whole Foods, and it's almost as easy. Even if you don't have ground beef thawed, it doesn't take long. Put it on a kettle with a lid. You can get that stuff thawed really quickly.
Eggs. Breakfast food, really quick.
Always.
It's usually quick, and then you run out the door, and then you have a lot of dishes to clean up later. For some reason, with breakfast food, there's always,
Yep.
What's the word? Shrapnel? No. Shrapnel. What's the word? Like in war when there's like, there's always a wake. You leave a wake behind you.
Yeah, wake of disaster. Collateral damage. Is that what the word you were looking for?
Yes, there we go. Just a quick one here. How many hours a week do you spend editing content? A lot. I would, 10, 12, 15, 20. It all depends how many things I have to edit. And
0.
Yeah, I enjoy editing too. Not podcasts, because it's like I don't want to hear my voice constantly for 40 minutes. I like vlogs and stuff because there's music involved and all of that.
Yeah, it's like an art project.
Yeah, I used to hate editing. It's so funny, and now it's like my favorite part.
That's interesting.
Because I get to tell a story. Well, I know how to film now to tell the story.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like never 100% real life. And sometimes it does go off the rails, like from what I planned, and I try to show real life. But yeah, I usually go into every vlog with some kind of point to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it saves you time in the long run if you have a plan and you're not filming 20 different sections that you're never going to use.
My fear is that somebody would ever watch like a 30-minute video of mine and be like, that was an absolute waste of time. Why did I click on it? And then they won't ever come back again. You know what I mean? So I always like it to be inspiring or give you ideas or meal ideas even, or just like motherhood thoughts that, oh, she struggles with that too, or whatever. I enjoy the podcast so much. Since starting it, how have you guys changed? Does it feel more official now or more like a job? Well, we clearly haven't gotten any better or any more concise. We still word vomit and say things and be like, cut that out.
Did I just say that? But you know what? We do not cut much out.
No.
I mean, I guess I'm not involved in the editing, but by the time I get it, I rarely have edits for you.
Yeah.
And I can't ever think of things that you cut out.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe you edit me more than I think you are.
No, honestly, most things that I delete out are things that are like, okay, that joke's not going to land because people get offended when we like rib each other even a little bit.
Some people though, like they
don't get the family vibe, or I don't know.
Or they pick a side, which why are you here if you're picking a side? And then they're just going to like use anything against us to play into that.
Yeah. I do think though that it is natural to gravitate towards the person that your personality is like. And I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but like do you want to be pitting us against each other? Like imagine how whatever. Anyway, I'm done.
Do you guys declutter often or at all? Well.
I feel like I'm in a constant battle against the clutter, so yeah, I guess.
I like to save decluttering for like, I don't know, when I'm in the mood, and then it's so fun. So sometimes there'll be a week where I like declutter something every day, and then it might be like, oh, we're gone and we're on vacation or it's summertime or whatever, and I'm just not even, it's not priorities, I'm just trying to keep my head above water with the regular housework.
Is it possible to declutter when you're not in the mood?
Yeah, like, I force myself to. Ugh. It's not fun. But like the junk drawer, I'm never in the mood to declutter that.
Yeah,
it always feels good at the end when I'm done.
Yeah.
But
I find if I like make a plan and let it sit in my head long enough that needs to be done, I'll eventually get in the mood and then take advantage.
Or it's like it builds up in your head and it looks more and more and more daunting, and you really don't want to do it then. But yeah,
usually I find the inspiration if I dig deep enough.
I lean into that whole January thing. Like when people are decluttering, I like to do that. December and January, I'm decluttering stuff. It's just such a nice feeling.
That's what I did this year because we had Christmas break, and I'm planning to do probably some more over the summer because I'll be home and not have much to do. So, yep.
Do you think that's where I got that from? The winter. I mean, everybody declutters in the winter, I guess. But yeah, the school schedule. Like I have Christmas vacation.
Yeah,
I would do a lot of that.
Yeah.
Which works great
The
because
kids are home. They can help.
They just got a bunch of new stuff. They can say goodbye to the old stuff.
Yes.
Major things that you and your husband disagree about. If they're too personal, then of course, no worries. I would say the most frequent thing we disagree about is like how much time he spends golfing versus how much me time I get, because he's just like, go do stuff. He's like, I get to golf. You know, you get to go do things. I overwork myself sometimes, and he's always like, he's good at like, well, take some time off. He's like, if you would tell me what you want to do, I would gladly give it to you.
You do make it happen than more than most people. Like, you make it happen, and like, you can sit there and complain about it, but if you're not willing to make it happen, then you're just as much in the wrong.
That's exactly his point. So that's not our biggest argument. Obviously, it's more like trivial bickering, whatever. I don't know, but it's like pretty frequent where I did tell him my equivalent of his me time golfing is, for me, is doing family things, like going on a family hike or going biking together. That I just love. I would love to do more girl things, but sometimes it's just more work than anything. And like both of you having your husbands at home with the kids at the same time, I would love to have just like the system of every Sunday afternoon, me and my friends that live in the area, we just go on a walk on the trail together or something. But, you know, then their husbands have hobbies that, like, some like to go pickleballing, or Josh will go golfing or whatever. So
yeah, I feel like I definitely mention his obsession with golfing, but as far as me getting alone time, I get plenty of that just like built into my life at this point. So that's not really that we fight about. And I wouldn't say we fight about this, but it definitely comes up. We have some different ideas on parenting. And I'm probably the one, because you should kind of be on board with that before you get married. And I probably have changed more than he has in that regard. And I don't know. So I'm not going to get into like specifically what we disagree on, but we do have some disagreements when it comes to how to parent kids. And I think probably everybody does.
Probably.
I mean, you're not always going to see eye to eye 100%.
But yeah, I think that's something worth wrestling through. You know, it's worthwhile.
And I do think it's okay you have to be on board with your common goal. But if each parent has a little bit of a different style, I mean, it's okay, right? Like,
yeah, as long as your kids don't manipulate you and put you against each other.
Yeah, but you're never going to parent the exact same way because you're different people.
Do you have any advice on how to calmly manage toddler tantrums? Do you remember this stage of life at all?
Vaguely, like, honestly,
when they get a little older, toddler tantrums seem like, no big deal, because they're little.
Yeah, Finley is 7, and sometimes I'm like, is that a toddler tantrum I see?
Yeah, but they're like 7. They have all these opinions. Like, toddlers, it is actually, I'm not going to scoff at that. It is really hard. I have a 3-year-old right now that it feels like the most difficult stage, because they're old enough to have opinions, but they're not old enough to really express them very well. And so it's just like the first thought is to levitate in the air and throw yourself on the ground and throw a fit. It's like zero tolerance for that. Like, it's just being consistent. If you're in public, just who cares what other people think? Like, focus on you and your child and how to parent them. If that means you letting them, I mean, I don't know if I would let them rage or anything, but like, you know, don't parent through the eyes of the people watching you.
Yeah.
Parent consistently how you would at home. Or, I mean, obviously it's not the same as when you're at home, because you got to really de-escalate it quickly. But I would say go to your vehicle if you can and solve the problem in there. Honestly, anything with a toddler, depending how young they are, just resetting in some way, like distracting them with something in your bag.
Redirect.
Go to the bathroom and run cold water over their hands. That could make them angrier, but it could also reset them. Yeah, it's little actual mechanical things like that can help sometimes. But yeah, I think it's very, at the end of the day, who's the most important person in this situation? Is it the people in the table beside you at the restaurant, the strangers that are going to judge you no matter what?
Yeah.
You know, I think it's the heart of the matter too. And if you have regrets about something, it shouldn't be that you're embarrassed. It should be more like, I need to be more consistent at home so they don't try that at the store. Or
think about why you are upset.
It's our own ego that we're more worked up about than anything.
I think I did at home, not out in public, but at home I did ignoring sometimes. Like, sometimes they just need their space, and just, is that bad parenting?
Well, I was just saying it's ineffective parenting for me, because ignoring just means it gets louder.
Sometimes they just need their space to rage, and they'll get over it.
It depends where they're at. Time and place.
For sure.
Like, yeah, 100%.
Mennonites are pacifists, but boys are allowed to play with toy guns and soldiers.
My kids don't play with toy soldiers, really. Or toy guns too much.
I mean, Nerf guns, I guess that's toy guns. But we're also not pacifists. We're non-resistance. There is a difference.
But I don't let my kids play war games or anything. Like, Like they're not pretending. They're not allowed to pretend that they're shooting each other.
Like even with a Nerf gun or something?
Oh yeah, that's like tag. Yeah, Nerf guns is like. Right. I mean, we don't have Nerf guns just because I don't want to clean up all the stuff. But I don't care if they play them at friends' houses and stuff. But like, they're not stalking each other in the woods to shoot each other like guerrilla warfare or something. I don't let them do that. It's like they may hunt for bears or whatever. But yeah, I also think a big part of Mennonite culture is men providing for their family, and the most primal way of doing that is going out and hunting animals for your freezer. So if my boys take an interest in hunting, Josh is secretly hoping they don't. Yeah. But if they do, he will get his hunting license again. He's had it, and he'll take them hunting because it can be a profitable hobby.
But yeah, I don't know any Mennonite kids that would play with toy soldiers. I mean, that we wouldn't play war really or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm trying to think of games. Like, what came to my head was like the Ghost in the Graveyard game, which we don't believe in ghosts and we let them play that. Is that is that questionable? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting question. And it's definitely something that we think about as non-resistant. Like, how does our daily life reflect our non-resistant belief? Yeah. It's not just about not going to war. And that's the point. That's why we're not pacifists. We're non-resistant. So it should be reflected in all areas of our life that we're not resisting. You know, Jesus said, if someone slaps you on the one cheek, turn to him the other also. So we're supposed to react out of love always.
Yeah. What homemaking projects are you looking forward to over the summer? I'm looking forward to hosting, like outdoors and stuff. I don't know if that's a homemaking project. I'm not really looking forward to my garden because I'm always excited about it in the spring. And then by August, I know it looks at me and judges me because I let it go. I want to make a new wreath for my front door. That's happening maybe tomorrow or Friday.
Fun. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be a lady of leisure this summer.
Are you? So it's not like you have That's interesting. When I taught school, I would have a giant list of things I had to get done over the summer because you're going to come back again, I assume.
No, I definitely will need to get some deep cleaning done, reorganize some things, but that'll be in the mornings, and then in the afternoons I'll be a lady of leisure. So,
do you think you'll do your swimming pool thing again?
Yeah. But I can get a lot done in the morning. Like, I don't have little toddlers. So if I have like 3 or 4 hours of work in the morning every day, I can get a lot of work done and still have plenty of time for leisure.
Oh, even for me, I plan to do that too. Are you going to do your boot camp with the boys again or whatever? The homemaking skills? Because I think I'm going to steal that this summer with having a 6 and 7 year old.
Because some of the things that we learned, we've relapsed in.
As one does.
Like wiping tables, they really need to work on. They can empty the dishwasher just fine, but I need to go over again how to load it. But yeah, so we're definitely going to keep working on that. How do you handle anxiety over your kids? I'm a first-time mom struggling with this. Okay. When I first read this, I thought she meant anxiety in your kids, like your kids having anxiety. And now I'm realizing she meant have anxiety about your kids.
So I can answer the anxiety about, and you probably can answer the anxiety in.
Yeah, let's do it that way.
I think so. So how do you handle it? It's just, it's retraining your brain, filling it with something else. It's so hard. It really is so hard. But if you are vigilant and stay on top of it, you can get your brain to stop. Like, there for a while, my brain would always go to the worst case scenario all the time. And it just would like go there, kind of like gravity, like would just go there. And you have to almost like retrain your brain. Fill it with something else, distract yourself, go smell a candle, or like literally go wash your hands, slap yourself. I mean, I don't know, like these are like some mechanical ideas, but then also, have some Bible verses ready that you can say, count your blessings. That always really helps. Ask yourself what you can do about the thing you're worried about. And if there's nothing you can do about the thing that you're worried about, then there's nothing you can do. I know some people like really struggle with anxiety. Anxiety is usually like irrational, but I know some people that struggle with anxiety of like, they have to watch the baby sleeping at night because what if it stops breathing or something? Ask that like to yourself, is that sustainable? Like, can you actually do that? No, you need to sleep. So at some point you just have to lay it down and go lay down and sleep. If there's something that's avoidable that you can get rid of the anxiety, then do that. Like, there's some practical ways. This is like a very deep question that we could go into on another podcast maybe, but yeah, it is tough. And I think the longer you're a mom, it takes a little bit more to work you up, if that makes sense. Like, they're going to be fine. Like babies, like they don't stress you out quite as much. And yeah, once you have kids in school, you can't just be so worked up about like snotty noses and stuff. Like as you mother longer, you've been there, done that kind of thing. And some things don't trigger you as quickly. Also, if it's a hormone thing, it can absolutely be a hormone thing. It was for me. And in that case, either get help through medication, or if it starts to change your life in any way, that's probably what you need to do. Or I don't know, Josh has done so good for me. It's like snapping me out of it. I tell him about it. I don't keep it to myself, and then he'll talk me through it and we'll move on. So yeah, that's tough. I need to do more research and have my thoughts more concise.
I don't know if this is helpful or not either, but like your children are not yours. They were given to you to steward.
Yeah, I know. But it's you can't. When
No,
you
I know
have
that doesn't
anxiety,
help
you
anxiety.
can't feel that.
I know. But I don't know. I think that can help, like, as a perspective.
Yeah.
It doesn't help in the moment. Okay, so I'll address it from if they were asking if your children have anxiety. I do have one child that struggles with anxiety from time to time. Right now, we are working through being scared of bugs, which we live in an old house, so we have stink bugs, occasional bee will get in the house because some people leave the door open. Him, probably. But anyway, like, just, like, random bugs, and he'll lay in his bed and he'll scan the room. Scan it, look for a bug. And then if he sees a bug, he'll just, like, melt down. And anyway, I think it could be coming from lots of other things that are hard in his life right now. And I think that's probably, like, triggering it, but, like, also the one night a bug was, like, on his arm or something and just, like, that's frightening. Like, I'm not gonna that's frightening.
Do you need me to tell my cicada trauma stories with the cicadas?
Yeah, so I get it, but also, like, you can't lay in your bed quaking because you might see a stink bug. Like, we can't live life like that. So last night we had a meltdown, and Eric made him / helped him get a piece of toilet paper, physically get the bug, and put it in the toilet paper. So I don't know if this is for every kid, but for my child, it has really helped to help him conquer his fear.
Exposure therapy.
Yeah, because if he can, and I know that maybe doesn't work in every situation. For his fears, they're the kind that it does work. Like, he was really, 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 really scared to go to school. He did not want to go to school. He didn't want to leave me ever, but he did not want to go to school. But and we didn't really force him because he knew he had to do it. And I think deep down he wanted to. But he went for his kindergarten test and he did it. And he was just the beaming joy that radiated from that child. Aww. Like, he did it. And he loves school. So I think for him, it is finding a way to help him conquer his fear and to do the thing. And then the next time will be easier. And we see anxiety in kids at school sometimes too. And it's like, if we can get them to get back in the classroom or whatever it is, like, get them to do it, what they're scared of, then the next time will be that much easier. So that's my opinion. And I think that's one way, but it's not the only way.
Love it. I mean, it's situational, obviously.
Yes, it works.
Depending on the anxiety, depending on the child.
Yes.
Yeah. My mom was this, I mean, I'm not an essential oil girl at all, but my mom used to give me some kind of potion under my tongue before I went to school because she said I would be so, like, worked up and anxious. And in my memory, I was just so excited to go to school. And my mom just didn't know what was going on. Like, is she nervous about something? Or anyway, so there for, like, a couple weeks, I remember in, like, first grade, she would, like, put a couple drops under my tongue. I think I was just a hyperactive kid.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, there's sometimes physical things you can do too. How many times a week do you Mennonites attend church? That can vary. I would say a solid 1 time a week to 2 times a week. Probably not more than 2 times a week, except for, like, revivals or summer Bible school. I know, like, the Russian community or, like, the Ukrainian community, we had some friends and they would have church like, that was their life. Church was their life. And they were together a lot during the week.
Yeah, 1 to 2.
What to bring as a main dish to a potluck?
I saw this question and I don't know. Like, please tell me.
No.
It's the worst.
I do not enjoy potlucks where it's like everybody bring a hot and a cold dish. The cold dish is fun because I can make some really bougie salad or something.
I was going to say pasta salad.
Make it look pretty, have a fancy dressing for the side or, like, a pasta salad. You can make an impressive baked good. It's that hot dish that's like, ugh.
My mom does this concoction. We affectionately call it Judy Brew.
Her name is Judy.
And it's, like, Little Smokies, hot dogs, meatballs, sausages, and, like, some sort of sauce, barbecue sauce. And it's a nice little dish. But it's kind of a lot of work to make. Well, it's not that much, I guess. But she usually makes the meatballs homemade. Now, if you got the Costco ones, it would be really easy.
Yeah. I've done meatball subs. I've done breadsticks as my hot dish already, but then you have to make sure somebody else is bringing something that goes with that. Or I know ladies from our church sometimes communicate, like, you bring the rice, I'll bring the curry, and then they kind of go together.
Oh, there you go.
Stuff like that.
I've done hot dogs because, of course, I have.
Hot dogs. Oh, wow.
Yeah, like barbecued hot dogs in a crock pot.
I don't know if I've ever stooped that low. No, I'm kidding. I have. Josh one time was like, bring hot dogs. I'm like, I will never. My mom would be horrified if she knew her daughter was bringing hot dogs to a potluck. Oh. But the kids love them.
Yeah, I think it's perfect.
Especially if you could, like get good ones, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, they did get eaten. I've done pulled pork and then bring buns. I've done a lot of time I will bring a meat because I don't like to be the moocher. But you know what? There's been times when I've been in the past where it's like, I'm so busy. I usually bring the meat. I'm copping out this time and bringing a kettle of home cut preserved corn, and it gets all like, people like corn. Like, my kids love corn if it's done right, whatever. Anyway, so most of the time though, I try to bring a meat because then I know I have something that my kids are gonna like.
Right, exactly. That's a good tip, to bring something that you know your kids will eat.
But yeah, I love having yummy salads. Like, the cold dish is not the problem.
Yeah.
But somebody wants to know any tips for cutting it down to one income. There was only about 6 months where we were down to one income because I taught school up until I had my baby, and then I started YouTube. Well, the YouTube didn't bring in an income for a while, but I was also, after I had my daughter, when she was about 6 months old, I started teaching at like a homeschool co-op. I don't know if you remember that time of your life when you quit at the bank, right? You were working at the bank and then you got pregnant. Is that when you quit?
Yep. No, I quit when I had Jack.
Okay,
so I worked all the way up.
You were overdue and working.
Yeah. And honestly, couldn't tell you how we made it, because if you figured it out on paper, it didn't look like we were going to. But I'm not sure how we did it. I think Eric might have gotten a raise. He worked a lot. He did a lot of like side projects, flipper projects. I worked 1 day a week cleaning at an inn, a bed and breakfast, which maybe covered groceries for the week, maybe.
So did you know how dire it was?
Yes, I was very well aware.
You were very, very well aware. Okay. I've just been listening to different like conservative speakers and stuff about how the men should, like, they're really speaking against childish men. What?
Eric might not have.
He might not have known. Well, that's
what he did know. And I wouldn't know that it was dire. Like, we always made our payments. I mean, we never were in the deficit. It was just, it took some sacrifice and some hard work.
And saying no to things and just dealing with the FOMO.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know. I just think we knew it was the right thing to do, and it just worked out.
It is a lot easier when you have the support of so many people around you that also do it, and they don't look at you weird on top of your suffering already, or whatever, suffering, quote unquote. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like the thing to do, and I never regretted it. And I don't know if I did it for the right reasons. I probably just didn't think about it that much, that of course that's what you do.
Yeah.
And I think some people are in the reverse, where of course it's what you do. You go back to work. Yeah. You go back to work. So yeah, I think it's always worth the sacrifice. It's going to take some creativity. And maybe it'll be a time of where you don't get to see your husband as much because he has to put in some overtime or something. But hopefully as he works up the ladder and is an excellent worker, or, you know, if he has his own business, the business is growing or whatever, hopefully it's just for a season and not for a lifetime. And you know what? I heard somebody say, just decide for the next 90 days. What's the plan for the next 90 days? And then reevaluate. Mm-hmm. You know, it doesn't have to be a lifelong commitment. So I wanted to talk about this at the beginning of the podcast, but I guess I'll just put it in here. How family friendly is this podcast? I think I have some clarity on this. So I want this podcast to be something you can play in your car while your kids are listening. Is it going to be child appropriate always?
No, but it should go over their heads.
But it will go over their heads.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. We're going to use medical terms if we're talking, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to, we're never giving warnings, but this is just like the blanket statement for all of our podcasts.
Basically, like, if you can understand what we're saying, it's probably appropriate for you.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Like, if you're of an age that you can understand it, then you're probably good.
Yeah. And of course, if your child hears something and wants to know more, you can clarify it to them on their age level.
Yeah.
You know?
Or wear earbuds.
Yeah. And obviously, like, some things, you know, we've talked about miscarriage on here and things like that.
Yeah.
There's some triggering topics and stuff. So, I mean, viewer discretion is advised always, but
you're
not going to hear us say words you don't want your children to hear.
No.
And things like that. With that being said, Jayna, what is our next question?
Thoughts on husband getting a vasectomy?
I've had mixed feelings on that, I guess.
It's something I've really gone back and forth with the past couple years. It does seem like the simplest, easiest thing to do, but I think it's something that you should really, really, really consider before doing it.
You have to look at it as irreversible. I know so many people are like, oh, we're getting it reversed, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's not really temporary, most likely.
Yeah. I think if there is an issue with, like, if you would get pregnant again, like, you would possibly die, or, like, you know, really, like, health reasons why it's not in your best interest, I think then it's appropriate to take a permanent measure. But outside of that, for me personally, I don't feel like a surgical permanent option would be what I feel is right. But I'm not saying it's never okay. I think we live in a fallen world, and it's not God's ideal that we would have a surgery to limit children. But I think, sometimes circumstances, that could be the best decision. For me, I don't think it is, but maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know.
So you have clarity on it. Like, I didn't even want to talk about this one because I have no advice. I'm really wrestling with that. Like, are we done? Are we not done? If we were done, would I be okay with that? Obviously, we're not even considering that right now because we're not quite sure what we want to do. I have like another year. I told myself I have to decide in another year if we want to have another baby or not because I don't want a huge gap. And who knows if it will happen even. Every child is a gift from God. Or if we just want to be done. And then if we're going to be done, like, women have so many fertile years yet. You can... I have an acquaintance / friend who was born when her mom was 50. So it does happen. Mm-hmm. But also, I think that's interesting that you're pretty hardcore. Like, no, because I'm not
hardcore.
There.
No, I'm not hardcore. No, I just think for me. Well, and also, my husband would agree with that. Like, he's not on board with it either. So if he was on board,
of course he's not.
Yeah, right. But if he wanted to, then I would probably be easily convinced. No, I am not hardcore. No, we're not moving in that direction at this point. But maybe someday. I don't know.
Tips for young couples settling into the first month of marriage.
I don't remember. I hardly remember being married without children.
Wow.
Like, it's been so long ago, and I don't remember it being hard. Like, I don't remember marriage the first couple of years being hard.
Yeah.
But maybe it was. Like I said, it's been a long time.
Hard is relative because I think I thought it was hard, like some parts of it. But I don't know because it kind of is your expectations too.
Yeah, I was just so ready to like have my own space and be on my own.
I kind of wish I could have, like, if I had a full-time job that I could have cut back to part-time for like the first 6 months, I think I would have done it. I was a school teacher. And so we got married in July and school started in September. And he worked 60-some-hour weeks and I worked 60-some-hour weeks because this was the time to make money because we had to pile up. We just bought a house, all these things. We didn't have any, like, we weren't paying off a wedding or anything. I don't know how people do that with the pressure of a wedding to pay off on top of it. Like, no, we didn't have any of that debt. We just had our mortgage to worry about. No car payments or anything like that either. I think be very voicey. What's the word? Like, voice any hiccups like as early as possible so you can both work on them together. Like, I'm noticing that you never have work clothes because I never have time to do the laundry. Maybe you come up with a system that he puts the laundry in the morning when he gets up and then you put it in the dryer. Like, little things like that. And then talking about them will help you not to build up resentment towards each other where neither of you know what page you're on in the first place. And like, guys are kind of oblivious, or not oblivious, they're just like wrapped up in that. They have a lot on their shoulders, let's be honest. And so it's not that they don't want to help you. They just maybe don't know how. You're just still learning. Like, I was still learning how to keep a home. So yeah, I don't know. I think just be honest and be on the same page. View the other person like they're not doing whatever they're doing annoyingly on purpose. They're just probably oblivious or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Communication.
Yeah, go on trips. Go on trips. Like,
yeah,
we thought we were too poor to do it.
Up, man.
We thought we were too poor to do it, and I wish. Yeah, we went on our first anniversary trip. That was fun. But yeah, more trips is always good. I think when you don't have kids along, and you can do really cheap ones too. And there's just two of you. You can like really rough it.
Yeah.
Get a motorcycle because you can't get one after you have kids. Like, and all ride together. Josh and I had a motorcycle we'd ride around on. It's so fun. I look back at that so fondly.
Yeah.
You had one too?
Yeah, we had
forgot
multiple.
about that. Okay. I will say, if your marriage is hard, it will get better. I think this was in the first year of marriage where I stormed off and I slept on the couch. And like, the thought of doing that now is like hilarious. Like, I would never do that. So if you get married young, maturity will come with time too.
Yeah.
And the things that seem big then might seem a little bit littler later on. So we'll see you in a month. Check out this book from the library, buy it, listen to it on Scribd, whatever. We'll put the links down below, and we'll see you in a month. Thanks so much for being here.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.